Hey, hey, hey. Happy Monday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, which is brought to you by thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. Yes, I am the founder and editor-in-chief of thegaminggang.com. This is your first time visiting, welcome aboard. Kick back, put your feet up, relax, make yourself at home. Just don't go rummaging through the fridge. Actually, there isn't a whole lot in the fridge at the moment. But I do want to welcome you aboard. This is very, very casual. We are not performing rocket surgery by any stretch of the imagination around here. We're just talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news. So we talk about board games, card games, role-playing games, miniatures games. If it's going on your tabletop, we're probably talking about it. Also do chat a little bit about PC games from time to time. And pop culture tends to pop its head up every once in a while, too. If you are somebody who watches all the time, a constant viewer, thank you once again for taking time out of your busy day to join me live, kicking back and enjoying the show. Or maybe not kicking back watching live. Maybe you're a constant viewer, but you watch after the fact. That's all good as well. So tonight is Monday, February 8th, 2021. This is live stream number 617. Kind of cool, kind of cool. So, do want to mention, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. If you do, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when I upload videos such as this stream live every Monday through Thursday night, it'll also inform you when I also share other standalone videos, such as, where is it? Gotta get the box. My upcoming video review of Crystal Palace, which is from Capstone Games and Führer Games, or Führer? I don't know. It's not Führer. Der Führer. Anyway, I'm actually in the midst of finishing up that review video. So I have it actually set up all on the table in front of me here. I was trying to wrap it up before the show started, but ran out of time. So, but that's cool. That's all right. Anyway, of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. I really do have to chuckle about how many people actually watch the videos for the Gaming Gang, yet really aren't familiar with the website, strangely enough. And get a lot of people visit the website who probably don't check out the videos either. So it's kind of odd, kind of strange. Anyway, also want to mention, because this is a live stream, that also means chat is available. It's not on screen. One of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But if you want to say howdy, or maybe you got a question, a comment, by all means, please chime in. I will do my best to respond. So Flaming Huron is first out the gate saying hello tonight in chat. Yes, the first of our two chat moderators is hanging out. And Jason Herrick has joined us once again. I believe it was just last week. Jason popped in for the first time, got to join us live. So good to see Jason back, hanging out again. So I am going to jump into the news in just a moment. I've got a pretty good mix of news pieces tonight. But before I do that, do want to mention I actually uploaded the first in my game mastering series of videos yesterday. All depends on how well people like it to see if I do more. But I shared a bit of a discussion of 4 things that I think are very important, probably the most important, when choosing the right role playing game for both yourself as the game master and your group. So definitely check it out. If you like it, by all means, give it a thumbs up and comment in the comment section. And let me know if you'd like to see more videos. I think what I would be looking at my next video to be would be how to prep for character creation and or what people like to call session 0. So Jason says different hours at work now, so they get to catch the show live. Very cool. Very cool. Let's jump on into the news. Because arriving later this month from Brotherwise Games is Overboss, a boss monster adventure. Here's what I know. In Overboss, rival boss monsters emerge from their dungeons to conquer the overworld. Each turn, players draft and place terrain tiles and monster tokens. Their goal, to craft the map with the greatest power and become the ultimate overboss. Designed by Aaron Mesburn and Kevin Russ, this fast-paced game combines drafting, set collection, and puzzly tile laying. Ooh, it's so puzzly. Ooh, it's warm and puzzly. I don't know. It's just, puzzly just seemed like a strange word. It's set in the retro-inspired pixel art world of Brotherwise Games' best-selling boss monster. But this is an entirely new experience. Build your map by drafting forests, swamps, caves, camps, graveyards, dungeon entrances, and other landscapes. Each terrain type has a different point value and some increase in power as you acquire larger sets. Players must balance optimal placement, set values, and disrupt their opponent's sets. You'll also need to manage monsters, which award points when grouped together or placed on matching terrain. The game includes everything needed for up to 5 players, over 120 terrain tiles, over 100 monster tokens, 5 double-sided player boards, a score pad, and more. Overboss, I don't know, for some strange reason, I thought I caught the wrong box cover artwork. Seems like I didn't. Because I guess this was originally going to be called Overlord, and they changed the name, and for some strange reason, I've got the wrong artwork as far as the box goes. So this is actually Overboss, not Overlord. Anyway, it is for 1 to 5 players, ages 8 and up, plays in around 20 to 30 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $44.95 when it arrives February 17th. Nice. I dug Boss Monster. I enjoyed Boss Monster. In fact, I want to say the Gaming Gang was one of the earliest outlets to actually have a review of Boss Monster out there. It's not a video review. It is a written review because it's from that far back. But definitely enjoyed that. This could be kind of cool, kind of interesting. It almost feels like a bit of a kind of like cartographer kind of game, right? Because you're creating the map. You're creating the map of your domain. So we shall see. Kind of cool. Like I said, it's coming out February 17th. Now available from, actually, I should say hello to the folks who just popped into chat. Clint Gibson has arrived. I know Clint enjoyed my new game mastering video. And the Madman is here as well. So both of our chat moderators are hanging out with us live tonight. All right, on to the next news piece. Now available from Giga Mech Games is Fallen Angels. And I've got the details. Sydney, Australia in the 1920s is rife with sly grog, prostitution, cocaine, theft, and fraud. Nice. Count me in. Just kidding. Razor wire, I should say, razor wielding gangsters rule the streets, presided over by rival crime queens Tilly Devine and Kate Lee. But you, the police, have not been idle. The holding cells are overflowing, and now you must work as a team to bring together the evidence needed to convict each suspect. Take care. Just one slip means a criminal walks free. Fallen Angels is a unique deduction game. Each card features 2 of 6 possible evidence icons on one side, but only one of those 2 on the reverse side. Each player fans their cards so that they can see one set of icons, but the other players see the other set. On their turn, a player selects one card, and the other players arrange their hands to indicate which of their own cards feature the icons that they can see on the back of that card. The player must then deduce what icon or icons are on the reverse of their card, taking into account that what they see in other players' hands is not exactly what those players themselves can see. If they deduce correctly, then the evidence may be enough to convict a suspect. But if they guess wrong, then that suspect is acquitted. To win the game, players must together convict 10 suspects without acquitting too many. I'm not sure exactly what too many would be. I would say 10, 5, I don't know. The cards do feature historical mugshots of real suspects arrested in Sydney, Australia during the 1920s Razor Gang era. Fallen Angels is for 2 to 6 players, ages 10 and up, plays in around 20 to 40 minutes, carries an MSRP of $14.99. It is out now from Giga Mech Games. I thought this is kind of interesting. So I have actually seen a lot of these images because, I don't know, one night I went down a rabbit hole. You know how it is. You're surfing the web about different things, and all of a sudden I found myself on this website that had all these photographs of, well, I believe they were convicted. I don't think they were just suspects. So I think all of these photos are actually, they were convicted criminals. I might be wrong, but it was like, wow, really, really wild. And to be honest, I think I found myself at this website looking through these images because I was looking for images to use for NPCs and possibly characters for Call of Cthulhu. So, yeah, kind of funny. This game could be kind of interesting, and it's $15. I mean, it's a pretty small price tag to check out the game. Moving right along, hitting stores sometime in Q1 from Contention Games is Imperium, the Contention. Here's the scoop. Only one may wield the Void Scepter. Seize the Void Scepter in Imperium, the Contention, the 4X card game. Choose one of 6 factions, each with a pre-constructed deck, or build your own from a complete collection of over 300 cards. Expand your empire, deploy your fleet, move your ships into position, and battle your enemies. Seizing the Imperial capital may lead you to victory or ruin. There are many paths to ruling the Imperium. Your favor represents your Imperial influence. Gain 8 favor or claim 8 worlds, and the Void Scepter will be yours. Mine. Gain the Imperium's favor by destroying enemy worlds or through political intrigue. Employ politicians, spies, metacorps, and mercs. Take the Imperial capital by force and use the seat of power to convince the Imperium only you are worthy. Now is the time to lead your civilization to new heights and claim the Void Scepter. Imperium, the Contention, is for 2 to 4 players, ages 13 and up, plays in around 1 to 2 hours, and it will carry an MSRP of $64. So here's the odd thing. Now, this looks like this could be a pretty interesting game. I have seen 3 different MSRPs. I have seen $50, I have seen $64, and I have seen $65. So I'm going with the MSRP that is on the Contention Games website. But I think this is a deluxe edition of the game for the $64. As you can see right now, with the little plastic ships and the various different decks and things like that. I believe it is a deluxe edition that has these plastic ships. I could be completely wrong, but I do believe there's an edition of this that's being called like the retail edition. Maybe that's the one that's got a $50 MSRP. Maybe there is no $50 MSRP. It's very strange when you're getting the information conflicting between the publisher and the distributor, because it's the distributor who is telling the retailers what the MSRP is. I don't know. I don't know. All right, let's move on into some role-playing game news, because next year, Magpie Games will be releasing a role-playing game based on the popular animes Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra. Here's their announcement. Magpie Games has secured a multi-year licensing agreement with Viacom CBS Consumer Products to produce a tabletop role-playing game set in the world of Nickelodeon's animated series Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra. The stories of Avatar are so moving for us because they are joyous and heartbreaking, says Mark Diaz-Truman, CEO of Magpie Games. We're incredibly excited to bring the tales of brave benders and loyal friendships to tabletop role-playing games. We know so many fans of both series have been waiting years for this moment. We're also thrilled to have the opportunity to work with Asian designers like James Mendez-Harez to bring the world of Avatar Aang and Avatar Korra to life in a way that's true to the authentic, diverse spirit of both shows. All right, so if I mispronounce the little kid, his name, then that's going to tell you that I have never watched either one of these animes. And I got nothing against them. I'm just saying, I have not watched either one of these animes. Back to the announcement. We believe Magpie Games is the ideal partner to develop role-playing game based on Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra, says Pam Kaufman, President, Global Consumer Products, Viacom CBS. Their commitment to supporting diverse content from diverse creators, along with their exceptional game product, made them the right choice to bring the world of Avatar to tabletop role-playing games. This role-playing game is a unique opportunity for fans of the show to return to a beloved setting, this time as the heroes of the story, rising to meet their own destiny. Players will make characters using playbooks, templates that help players build and play competing protagonists in the world of Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. Together, they might protect local merchants from the Triple Threat Triad. Damn you, Triple Threat Triad! In Republic City. Travel through a spirit portal to rescue a child taken into the spirit world, negotiate peace between feuding communities within the Earth Kingdom, or pursue mysteries and villains that arise throughout their adventures. The role-playing game's core book is slated for a February 2022 release, with 2 supplements to follow in August of 2022 and February 2023, titled Republic City and the Spirit World, respectively. So there you have it. That is some big role-playing game news. One thing I noticed that they didn't really get into, but they have hinted at, is that this looks to be a role-playing game that's going to be powered by the apocalypse, because they talk about the playbooks. I'm kind of curious, because I would have thought, now this is just me, right? I'm just Magpie Games makes a lot of games. So they are, far wiser about any of this stuff than I am. I am a little surprised if they do go in the direction of Powered by the Apocalypse, or, kind of similar to Powered by the Apocalypse, simply because I would think the people looking for the Last Airbender or Legend of Korra role-playing game settings would probably be interested more in kind of a D20, kind of based on 5e. Just the vibe I get that they would be looking for a more, I don't want to say traditional, because Powered by the Apocalypse is really a very popular system, or I should say the Apocalypse World engine is pretty damn popular. And Dungeon World, I think, is a pretty cool series of rules in that. I do like Dungeon World. I have checked out Apocalypse World. I think for a lot of people, the subject matter that comes up in Apocalypse World is a bit too mature, but I believe they have another edition that kind of tones that down. Anyway, but like I said, I'm a little surprised. Although, let's be honest, Powered by the Apocalypse is kind of Magpie's bread and butter. So Jason says they just ordered Fallen Angels. They were thinking the same thing about Call of Cthulhu. So Jason has not picked up Call of Cthulhu. So I will talk about that once we finish up the news. I've got one last news piece. Available in print and PDF from the Merry Mushmen is the first issue of Knock. Here's the skinny. We gathered some of the most respected, most creative, and possibly weirdest minds of the old school role-playing scene and compiled some of their best work to make this thick magazine. We made Knock, ! The messy, stuff to the gills bric-a-brac we wanted. The book that earns its place on the easy-to-reach part of your gaming shelves. It has everything you'd want from an old-school / adventure gaming publication. Articles about the history of Dungeons & Dragons, reflections about genre and gameplay, some clever rules, a bunch of maps, tons of random tables and lists, 7 new classes, 7 new monsters, and 3 complete adventures, all clocking in at 212 pages. What I'm going to do here is I am going to share the Kickstarter video. Why didn't our news piece change here? Boy, I tell you, I'm so busy reading the teleprompter, I didn't even notice. I'm like, yeah, look, it's still, oh, I'm like, wait, Legend of Korra, what's that? Dude, bam. Anyway, quick Kickstarter video. It's, I don't know, maybe minute and a half. Get ready. It's got some pretty blasting tunes. So you've been warned. But let's take a peek. All right, don't pledge now because the 221-page PDF is available right now at Drive-Thru RPG for the odd price of $22.89. Not sure where they came up with that idea. You can purchase, or at least I should say, you can pre-order the physical book over at the Merry Mushmen website. And I believe this is going to be the second print run. I'm pretty sure the first print run actually sold out because, of course, a lot of it was going to their Kickstarter backers. So they only had a few left over. So from my understanding, they are taking pre-orders right now for another print edition, and they will not reprint it again. So if you are kind of curious about Knock, the little exclamation point, by all means, check it out. All right, so a Grade A had popped into chat. Good to see you, Grade A. We've got Board Game Grand making an initial appearance here in chat. Welcome aboard. In case you don't know, Board Game Grand has her own YouTube channel. She does board game videos there as well. I'm not sure if they're reviews or first looks or what, so my apologies for not having checked that out. But I do know that Board Game Grand does have her own YouTube channel as well. And we've got RP Gamer Pro, who I believe is another first-timer, swinging on into chat. So welcome, everybody. Kick back, like I said, put your feet up, make yourselves at home. All right, so I just wanted to take a little time to share some of these images of Knock, since I spent most of the news piece talking about it and showing you the Legend of Korra Avatar Last Airbender role-playing game stuff. But as I mentioned, this PDF is available over at Drive-Thru RPG, 212 pages, $22.89. And of course, whenever I talk about Drive-Thru RPG, keep in mind the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, are affiliated with the One Bookshelf site. So if you are going to swing on over to, say, Drive-Thru RPG, by all means, pop by thegaminggang.com first. Honestly, if you watch these videos, you should visit thegaminggang.com anyway, because I just talked about early when we opened up the show how I have to chuckle about how many people actually watch the Gaming Gang videos and have never visited the site. And that's where all the people go, is actually to the site. They don't really watch the videos much. It's fine. Anyway, so if you go to thegaminggang.com first, click on one of our banner ads. If you happen to make a purchase, I get a little portion of that sale, and all those nickels, dimes, and quarters certainly do add up and help keep the gaminggang.com around. So Board Game Grant says that her channel is a mix, upgrades, etc. And yes, you're very welcome for the shout out. Not a problem. Not a problem. I can tell you, folks, Board Game Grand is looking to try to get more traffic. So, because yes, I did run across a tweet. Was it over the weekend, I think? And I did respond to it, and I can completely understand where she's coming from when it's kind of disheartening to see you put a lot of effort into your videos and whatever content you're creating, be it a website, what have you, and you don't see a lot of traffic. You don't see a lot of views. And then you see other people who have, 1 million subscribers and their videos are like not even close to being as good as yours. And I did mention, and we have talked about this before on the show, there are outlets out there that have corporate backers. And there are outlets out there who, when they launched, their corporate overlords were very happy to pay to get these people Twitter followers, YouTube subscribers, things like that. So one thing to keep in mind, that's definitely the case when they've got umpteen subscribers and none of their videos ever get a lot of views. I mean, none of their videos. Now, I'll be the first to point out the live stream gets, I think we're in like 20 straight days, 20 straight shows, I should say, of over 100 views on the live show, which is nothing. But once again, I'm not in this to make money. It'd be nice if I did, but I'm not. That is not my motivating factor. So, anyway, but let's see. So Jason says they just got knock in the mail over the weekend. They have not looked through it yet. Nice, very nice. A Grade A was talking about some new additions to the Dungeons and Dragons movie. I don't know. They could put anybody in it, and I'm still, just because it's D&D, I'm a little concerned. That may not be very good. And Board Game Grant says that she's going to keep plugging away. That's what I recommend. I mean, and I mentioned this in my reply to the tweet. If you enjoy what you're doing, keep doing it. Well, to me, like I said, I do this stream. This stream is more for my sanity than anything else. It really is. People just watching, it's that's just bonus for me. All right. So Grady's talking about some Savage World stuff. Talking about a bunch of Mothership stuff that's coming out. I actually mentioned Mothership in my role-playing game video. If you have not caught it yet, I released the first of what might be a series. I don't know. All depends if people like the video or not. Of game mastering tips, where I talked about 4 specific things that I think are the most important when choosing a role-playing game that's going to be right for both yourself as game master as well as your group. So check it out if you haven't checked it out. If you like it, by all means, just like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos, comment in the comment section. So we'll point out the next video I would figure I'd be shooting, and it's only, well, actually, it went a bit longer. I was trying to do like 15 minutes, right? And it still ended up like almost a half hour because, me, But the next video would be prepping for character creation and or session 0, whatever you want to call it. So Flaming Heron says, any of the D&D movies is generally good for a chuckle anyhow. Yes, that's about it. Good for a chuckle. All right. Anyway, so I believe Jason was talking about Call of Cthulhu, considering picking it up. This is what I would recommend if you have not gotten this yet. Go to DriveThru RPG, download the free Kickstart. I said Kickstart, Quick Start. I'm so busy, I just saw a comment from the Madman talking about some Kickstarter. I think it's the Pathfinder for Savage Worlds Kickstarter is at 315,000. So I saw that, and instead of saying Quick Start, I said Kickstart. Duh. Go and download that. It'll give you a pretty good idea of the game system itself. There's a little bit of an adventure to it as well. If I remember off the top of my head, I think it's almost, and I might be way off base here. I could have swore, if I remember right, I think it's got an actual short adventure, and I swear, I think it's The Haunting, which I think is now The Haunted House, I think is what they call it, which is the all-time classic Call of Cthulhu intro adventure that I have run umpteen times over the years, and I know everybody else has as well. But I could have swore, I thought there's also kind of almost like a choose-your-own-adventure tale in there, kind of like, but it's relatively short. It's nothing like Alone Against the Flames or whatever. There's like the two. Alone, isn't there three now? Aren't there three like solo? So, oh, Jason says, sorry, I'm playing Call of Cthulhu. I was thinking the cards from Fallen Angels might be cool to use as pictures for NPCs and characters. That's actually how I was talking about when I was doing that news piece. That's how I ran across a lot of those images. And that's what actually kind of caught my eye about the game, is that I had seen a bunch of these images at a website that had it. It was just sharing the photos. So I thought that was pretty wild. Pretty cool. All right. So that is it for tonight's news. I don't really have anything cooking. Watched the Super Bowl last night. I had predicted the Bucks were going to cover the spread. I did not think they were going to blow out the Kansas City Chiefs. That was that was surprising. Although I got to admit, the Chiefs just kept shooting themselves in the foot with those penalties. And I know a lot of people are complaining about the play calls and that. I'm sorry, but when they were showing replays, those penalties were penalties. And there were some penalties that didn't get called. There were some face masks on the Chiefs that they didn't call those. There were plenty of holding calls on both sides that they did not call. So anyway, so I checked that out. That was about it. And then before that, I was shooting the little Game Masters video. So cool deal. All right, Dennis Kozarowski. I know I'm not pronouncing that right. Is in chat saying lots of social distancing happening there last night. The Madman says, didn't even watch the Super Bowl. Only the second time I've not watched it as an adult. I watched it with my dad. I really didn't have any rooting interest. I will admit I was kind of pulling for the Buccaneers, mainly because the Chiefs had won last year, and they had put that whole Andy Reid story to bed and stuff like that, and finally won the big one. Agrede says, all year, the referee work, especially at pass interference, has been inconsistent. Oh, yeah. You know what I think part of it is that, wasn't it year before last, they were trying out that you could challenge pass interference, and then this year they were like, no, you can't. we're going to get rid of that. But, I mean, it wasn't a bad game. It was all right. It was okay. I've seen worse. I've seen really bad Super Bowls in my life. So, but yeah, it was just my dad and I. One thing I do have to say, and I kind of thought was kind of funny, was you saw these people in the stands, and then you had all these like cardboard cutouts in the stands as well. And people were sitting amongst them. So I got to be honest, if I were paying about, I think the average price was $5,000 a ticket. I think that's what on average the prices were on the tickets to get in. If I would not want to pay $5,000 for my ticket and then have to sit there like with these cardboard cutouts around me. So Grade A says it was $100 to put a cutout in the seat. Right. Yeah, it was for charity, I think. If I remember right, they had mentioned it. Other thing about the Super Bowl, I got to be honest. I do not like Tony Romo calling games. Well, he's not really calling the games. He's color commentary. Because it was like with about 5 minutes left in the game, and the Buccaneers are up 3 touchdowns. He's still talking about how the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes has a chance. They've got a chance to get back in this. They got a chance. It's like, what game are you watching, dude? What? It's like, what part of the previous 3 2/3 quarters of this football game do you not understand? It was like there was no way Kansas City was coming back. No way. And it was like, dude, enough. Just like the whole, Tom Brady's the greatest of all time, blah, blah, blah. He's the GOAT. Yeah. Personally, in my opinion, I think the greatest quarterback of all time was Joe Montana. And if Joe Montana played in an offense, now I'm not saying that Joe Montana, like teleporting into the future now, would be a great quarterback or as great a quarterback as he was. All I'm saying is if he played in as pass happy a league as it is now, man, unbelievable. Because you got to keep in mind, even when Joe Montana was having these monster seasons for the 49ers, they still ran the ball half the time, more than half the time. So nowadays, it's like you're lucky if you get one team in the entire league that did about 50-50 split run and pass. So the Madman says that they are agreeing with me on the GOAT. Yeah, greatest of all time. Rob German's joined us in chat. Good to see you, Rob. Rob says they don't really bother with American football unless the Bears are doing well. So I guess you basically just don't bother with American football then. And I'm a Bears fan. So personally, I think the coach and the GM got to go. Gots to go. 2 back-to-back 8-8 years? No. And this GM couldn't draft their way out of a wet paper bag. Anyway, Fleming Heron says, probably a bad thing to call someone. Every person is great in their own time, not necessarily all time. Madman says, could be worse. I could be a Lions fan. Hey, I wasn't picking on anybody. I'm just saying the Bears aren't very good. Although, hey, who's the team who's gotten thrashed? What is it, 9-0? Or is it 8-0 in the Premiership twice this season? I think they lost one game last year 8-0. It's like, ouch. That's a pretty bad, because I think that is the record, isn't it? It's the record for most goals or biggest goal differential in a game. And this team has achieved it 3 times. Yeah, good deal. So Great A saying, wasn't it rugby championship this weekend too? That is not something I watch. I remember I watched a little bit of Australian league football and was sort of like, rugby's the same way. I might have it on TV and I'll watch it. I'll be like, what the is going on here? What the? So when is somebody tackled, especially rugby? It's like, because it's like all these guys, like this big pile, and all of a sudden somebody comes jumping out of it and they're like running with the ball. It's like, aren't they down? What the hell's going on here? It's just bizarre. It's fun to watch. I certainly would not play it. Get the shit kicked out of me. All right. So Fleming Heron says, explain gridiron to me then. A Great A says, rugby sevens is awesome. I'm going to take a guess, 7 on the side. Is that rugby sevens? I don't know. I have no idea. All right. So I'm going to wrap up a little bit early tonight because, as I mentioned, I'm not going to grab the box again. I am in the midst of finishing up my review for Crystal Palace. So I was hoping I would have that done before the stream started, but of course I didn't. Didn't get it finished. So a Great A says, yes, rugby sevens is 7 on a side, and it's fast. It's fast and furious. Anyway, and the finals for the U.S. is in Las Vegas every year. Nice. I like Vegas. Wouldn't want to live there. I have some friends who live there, but I like Vegas. Ever since, even before I was old enough to gamble, I've liked Vegas. So, guess that tells you a little bit about my psyche, eh? Anyway, So, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Wow, you know what? Yeah, here we go. It's the See, I was going to skip the contest today because I've got the game set up, so I don't have stuff in front of me. So, bing. Grady says Raiders are there now in Vegas. Yes, I've got 3 friends who live in Vegas. Anyway, I got a few different contests. I am not going to really talk about them today. If you follow me on Twitter, I once again shared what those contests are. There are 5 of them going on right now. And you can win all 13 books of basic fantasy. I've got Warhammer 40K, Wrath and Glory. I've got the new Dungeons and Dragons Adventure Supplement, both the regular artwork and the supplemental alternate artwork covers up for grabs as well. And you can score the game. Got it. Well, funny thing is, I actually have the little expansion that just came out. So this isn't what you get to win. You get to win the core game to this. Nidavellir, which I really enjoyed. I really did like it. Thought it was a pretty good game. Not too shabby. So, anyway, so Flaming Heron's like, hey, 4.5 thousand. It's weird when I say that, 4.5. 4,500 subscribers isn't really out of the question by month's end. I know we are close to 4,000. I think we're 70-ish away from 4,000. So, yes, we've got contests that are tied into YouTube subscribers. I've got contests that are tied into Twitter followers. But the Nidavellir, all you got to do is check out the review video, and I tell you how to get into the running, and it's got nothing to do with the number of people either subscribing or following. All right. Anyway. Once again, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't, and if you do, ding that bell, because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube, it'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as yesterday's game mastering video, where I talk about 4 items I think are very important as far as deciding what role-playing game is best for you and your group. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Those of you who watched live, thank you very much. I know we had some first-time visitors in chat. Welcome aboard. Hopefully we didn't scare you away. And always appreciate people taking time, hanging out, watching live. That way I don't feel like a complete doofus just blabbering away into a camera in front of me. Of course, I do know folks out there don't have an opportunity to watch live. Even if you're watching on Memorex, I certainly do appreciate anybody who takes a bit of time out of their busy days to watch this goofball just pontificate away. All right, I will be back tomorrow. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Monday night, Tuesday morning, or whatever day it happens to be when you're watching this. And of course, as I wrap up all my videos during this never-ending pandemic, I certainly hope all of you out there are being smart and staying safe. Oh, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, if you'd like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, by all means, click right here. And if you'd like to check out one of our recent live streams, click right up top. And if you want to roll the dice and see what the algorithm for YouTube recommends, click right here. And of course, thank you once again for watching. And gang, please stay safe and wear a mask.